Hi guys, today I'm here again with my fourth video for my NEET PG series. Today I'm going to talk about how to memorize stuff in a faster, quicker and in a more effective way. Many of you have been asking me, or rather commenting on my video, that you study but you don't tend to retain whatever you have studied. So there are ways which can help you out, and today I'm going to talk about 10 such ways. The first is to have an adequate amount of sleep, which is very much important. It may sound very redundant. You must have heard it from a lot of other people, from your parents, from your seniors and other influencers who say that you have to study, but believe me, it is very effective. If you are always tired, your mind is not going to retain stuff. So at least have minimum 6 hours of sleep, and before exam don't get nervous and try to revise all the stuff that you want. You just need to sleep for 8 to 10 hours before any exam, so that you can awake, you are afresh and your mind is afresh and you can function in a very effective way. Now the second most important, now I'll talk about very basic stuff which is very related to the NEET PG stuff. I'm not talking about in general, like you have to take a diet, proper diet, or organize yourself, blah blah blah. I'm not going to talk about such stuff. I'm just going to give you tips how to study what you are studying, that is for the NEET PG. Now the second most important stuff is that you have to learn in sequence. Many a time you are learning like 4 to 5 points. Like I'll give you an example. Now this book that I have been studying, in Datta, here it is given in antepartum risk factors of puerperal sepsis. There are 6 points like malnutrition and anemia, preterm labor, premature rupture of membranes, immunocompromised, HIV, prolonged rupture of membrane, and diabetes. Now this is a very small list. You might face a longer list like that. Now there are 6 points, but if you group the point in sequence, like malnutrition, anemia, immunocompromised, diabetes, these 3 points you link it together, and then will come preterm labor. Then from preterm it comes to prolonged labor, and preterm rupture of membrane, and prolonged rupture of membrane. So instead of learning in the sequence what it is given, you can learn like that. It is malnutrition and anemia. Another malnutrition and anemia causes immunocompromise, so then it is an immunocompromised state. Diabetes also causes an immunocompromised state. So all these 3 are linked together. Then you come to premature labor, then premature rupture of membranes, and then prolonged rupture of membrane or prolonged labor. Third tip is that you always make a club and make lists of similar things. Like if you have to remember signs or named signs, whatever may be the sign, like there are numerous signs, Holzer sign or whatever is that, you make a list of signs of dermatology, you make a list of signs of radiology, and then you make a list of triads. Make a list of all the fathers of different subjects that you have to learn. So when you group stuff and you learn, then your mind is like focused that you are going to read such similar stuff in a sequence. So you are going to retain it better, and it will give you a more chance to learn similar things. So you are going to also relate when you are remembering stuff. Now whenever you are my fourth tip is to make flowcharts or diagrams. Whenever you are trying to learn something new, and like there's a big topic, suppose I'll give you another example. Now in my PG I have to read a book called Terence. So I was reading a chapter of hysterectomy, like when to do various type of hysterectomies, indication for abdominal, vaginal and stuff like that. So it has a detailed description of the stuff. So instead of reading through paragraphs, you always, whenever you are reading a new thing, now you try to make flowcharts or diagrams or even tables in your mind, and then you jot it down and make your own notes. So now when I have to read, I will read from my notes. Okay, this chart might look complicated, but for me it is more interesting to read rather from 2 pages, like when to do what kind of hysterectomy. I'm not going to read the whole chart and give you a detail of it, but you get my point what I'm telling you. This you must have felt also when you are reading from Datta Obs. So whenever there are numerous charts, like for every management of every disease they have given a chart. So you must have felt that it is very easier to remember all the stuff when you are reading from a chart. It also applies to when you are preparing for your prof. It is very much easy to understand and analyze the management part where you have sequence of events. Now my next tip is that whenever possible, for people those who are appearing for the first time or preparing for the first time in your internship, or those who are in still in MBBS, you have to appear, you try to make your own notes. Whenever you are writing something, you're reading, understanding, analyzing and writing in your own handwriting, you are going to retain that stuff a lot better from what you are reading from other books or other people notes. So you try to make your own notes, and whenever you are revising from the same notes again and again, you are going to retain that stuff a lot better. Trust me, I am one person who has been making notes since I was in middle school. So I have always felt that whenever I write something, I never forget it. So you read from multiple various books, you get the collect your points, you make your own notes, and you're going to retain it much better. So my next tip is now to meditate and revise. I said that before also in my previous video, that whatever you are studying, you study for 2 to 3 hours, take a short break, and before taking the break, just close your eyes and try to remember and analyze or everything that you have studied. Whenever you will close your eyes and you will try to read out the topics in your mind, lay down and revise the topic in your mind, you are going to retain it a lot better. Your mind will be peaceful and you are going to remember everything that you have studied. So you can do that after every study session that you have, or just after you call it a day, before you are sleeping, try to close your eyes and remember what you have studied. At least if you're able to remember 70-80%, that is enough. That is, like, I think it would be very good if you are, whatever you are reading and you are retaining 80% and revising, closing your eyes and able to remember and revise 80% of stuff without looking at the books and the notes that you have studied. It is commendable and you should be happy about it. Second is that whenever you relate everything, when you are and then whenever you are remembering, even if you are remembering some kind of dates, like when a particular thing was invented or something, you should relate with some other events which you know for a fact that has happened, like something which is engraved in your mind, and you are going to relate some new things with that. You have a lot better chance to remember it. Like if something has happened in 1990, I will always remember it because it is my birth year, so I'm going to remember it if I learn like that. Or something like something, if you have studied something in one subject and you have going to get a similar example or something other in other subject, then try to relate two things. Well, how much relations you are going to make, it is going to form more synapses in your brain connections, and you're going to retain stuff a lot better. My seventh tip is that don't get distracted whenever you are studying. I know many of you, even me, I have a habit of listening to music whenever I'm studying, or sometimes I even watch all the TV. I switch on my TV and I start studying. But now there is also a trick to that. Whenever you are studying while listening to music, I think you should let the music be in a shuffle mode, or you listen to your radio rather than you decided what next song you're going to play. Otherwise your mind will be preoccupied what kind of song you want to listen. Or rather, if you want to watch TV and you want to study, then see something which you have seen before rather than watching something new and complex. Your mind will get diverted. So you listen to music, you see videos while watching while studying, but you choose it correctly. So rather than getting distracted by what you are doing, so your mind is not going to remember when you are listening to something new. So I think I make sense with that. And my ninth tip and most important tip is that instead of a rigorous session of revision, you should always have multiple revisions, and multiple revisions from the same notes or the same book that you have studied. For the first round of revision or the first study that you have done, whatever book that you have studied, make a base book. Suppose if I'm studying from my notes that I have made for one subject, I'm going to revise again and again from that same similar note. I'm not going to switch over to some other new book for my second revision. So you have to do multiple revisions rather than doing thorough revisions. Multiple revisions are always going to be more helpful. My last tip is that you have to trust your subconscious memory. Now, whenever you are studying something, your memory is going to work on 3 levels. For whatever you are reading, you are going to retain it. And I'll say that whatever you are wanting to learn, some things are just for concept, and something that some are the facts that you have to remember. Whatever you want to remember, please at least once speak out loud. So whatever you are reading, whatever you are speaking, and whatever you are seeing, it is getting engraved in your brain. So, and you have to trust yourself. Suppose you are studying for more, on an average, when you are preparing, you are going to study more than 12 hours every day, and when after 2 to 3 days you will not exactly remember this material what you have studied 3 to 4 days back. It might happen that you might feel completely blank, that you don't remember what you studied 4 days back, but you have to trust your subconscious memory. When you are going to see the question, you are going to remember it. That is the best part of multiple choice questions, because it gives you the opportunity to see the options, cut down your chances of the wrong options, and get to the right answer. It is not an absolute question that you have to answer. You will get the chance to analyze the options, and when you are analyzing the options, your subconscious memory is going to work and you are going to get to the right answer. So don't worry, study hard. Remember, I think some of the, not 10 out of 10, but I think some of the tips will be useful for you to at least remember stuff better, quicker. So yes, whatever problems you have, you can comment and I'll make a video to sort out your problem. Please like, share and subscribe if you like the content. Bye.